Hello everyone and welcome back to the Cozy Corner. My name is Leigh and this is my library. So grab a mug of something yummy and settle in for some talk of books. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the plans that I have for Leigh's library in 2021. This year is going to be full of a lot of different goals and challenges, and I'm excited to tell you all about them. So let's get right on into it. We're going to start with the goals first. I mentioned in my TBR that I just did a few days ago about the fact that I wanted to set attainable goals because you're able to achieve more in the long run while still feeling satisfied about the work that you're doing. I hope that this is attainable. I spent a lot of time with myself sort of determining what I thought I was able to accomplish in a year. It will require batch filming and being very good about ordering books in advance. But I think it's attainable, especially in light of the fact that I pretty much have a good system figured out for the rest of my life in terms of quarantine so far and, distancing. I've got a pretty tight handle on that, so we can afford to be a little more complex in this passion project of mine. So the goals I have are lofty, but I definitely think are attainable. So let's talk about them. I've got 4 goals for Leigh's library in 2021, and they are as follows. My personal reading goal for this entire year is to read 100 titles. Of the books that I have so far, I am right at about 100, and this is a far cry from what I accomplished in 2020. Nowhere close. I don't even think I got to 50. I would be very optimistic and say maybe 35, but that was mostly because I didn't start a BookTube channel until September, and so the push to want to read more didn't really happen until fall time. But I do want to be able to get to that point again where I'm able to read that many books in a year. And it's part of the reason why I started Leigh's library was because I wanted to reinvest my time into this hobby that I love so much. 100 books in a year is a fairly common BookTube goal from what I've seen of a lot of people on BookTube and on Bookstagram. Follow me at Leigh's library on Bookstagram if you want to. I think it's Leigh Ellen's library actually is my handle. I do a lot of individual posts and reviews over there too if you're interested. But it's a pretty fairly common goal, so I think it's pretty attainable, and I'm excited to push myself to read that much. The second goal that I have for Leigh's library is to spend more time curating reading lists. Another reason why I started Leigh's library was because I had a lot of people who would ask me for book recommendations. And if there's anything more than I love than a book list, it's a themed book list. So I have created a few book lists based on library displays. You should go follow my library board on Pinterest if you want to. And based on those displays and the themes they have, I've created a few book lists that I think will be fun for you guys to participate in and read along if you want to. The book lists, those are not books that I will be reading this year unless they somehow happen to end up on one of my book challenges, which we'll talk about later. They're just good books that I think people should read based around the theme. To give you an example, one of the ones that I'll do for the first several months of the year is, I don't know the title, but the cover is this color. Which is a pretty common display. I see it a lot of libraries. So I don't know, for instance, the first one, which will be this month, is I don't know the title, but it's red. So it's just books with red covers that I enjoy. So just an easy one. It goes through the rainbow. Anyway, fun reading lists that I think people will enjoy getting because I love giving book recommendations. And thirdly, again, all of these are reasons why I wanted to start Leigh's library. But the third goal I have is to expand my taste in genre. I am woefully behind when it comes to experiencing different genres, primarily genres on BookTube that people talk a lot about, like thrillers and horror and graphic novels. Whatever it is, I really want to spend time dabbling in those genres. I'm really fascinated right now with noir, but also thriller. I don't read a whole lot of thrillers, mostly because I'm an anxious person as it is. Or I get very invested and caught up in the emotion of a story, and I physically have to remove myself from the book or the TV sometimes, because I get so caught up. But, you know, I want to explore and really experience why people love these genres. When I did my haul on haul video at the beginning of January, I said that there were genres in there that were pitifully small, and some that were non-existent. So I'm excited to develop my taste in literature and explore other areas. And lastly, which is the final reason why I started Leigh's Library, is to dabble more in the educational side of BookTube, helping people discover how to become better, faster, and more prolific readers. I have 4.5 years of this education, and I finally have an avenue to use it in. I'm really excited to every month have an educational video. Like I said, whether it's about how to read faster, how to annotate, how to recognize theme or plot, one of my favorite ones that I'm really excited about is how to create a commonplace book. Love a commonplace book. That's a fun one that's coming up soon. So all 4 of these goals, like I said, pretty directly match the reasons why I wanted to start a BookTube channel in the first place, which I talk about in my BookTube newbie tag. And I only had 4 months to do that, technically 3 because I didn't do much in December. So I'm excited to use these goals and, you know, intersperse them throughout my content this year. So those are my goals for Leigh's Library. Let's move on to the challenges I have in place. I have 4 goals and I have 4 challenges this year. Now, what I mean by challenges are set sort of reading lists that I will actually be participating in, books to check off a list that I have read. The first one that is going to start in February, I am calling the Around the World in 325 Days challenge. Now you may be asking, why 325? That's because I'm not starting it this month. Oh, we're taking it slow in January. Around the World in 325 Days is exactly that. From February to December, every other month or so, I will be going to a different continent and finding books that are based in the countries on those continents. I will by no means hit every country. These are just recommendations that I have found online. But the only one that is going to take more than 2 months is Asia. I believe there are 17 books in total for Asia. It's a big place. So that one I think is going to take June, July, August, if I'm remembering correctly. But every other month or so, I'll be going to a new continent and reading a bunch of books based on the countries in those continents. We're starting with North America, because that's where I live. The second reading challenge that I am creating, this one I am most excited about. I am creating Book March Madness, which will take place during the entire month of March and early April. This has taken a lot of prep, and I'm really hoping that I get a lot of people participating just because I think it's a fun concept and will ultimately just be a showdown of the classics versus the new releases. You know, it's the eternal debate of most literary people. 32 best-selling literary classics will go up against 32 new releases in those same genres. And eventually, just like March Madness, it will dwindle down to an Elite 8, which will be the reading list, or the TBR for April. I thought this was a fun concept because March Madness lines up, Elite 8 is the last round of March Madness before April begins. So I'm making those 8 books the TBR for the month of April. I am planning on creating a website for Book March Madness, literally just a Weebly page that has the book bracket. There are going to be 4 sections, like the 4 leagues, I think. This is how much I know about sports. The concept of March Madness is what drew me in, not the actual basketball playing. But the 4 genres that are going to be a part of this challenge are classics, romance, mystery, and sci-fi fantasy. And like I said, in each bracket in each quadrant of the bracket, there are 8 titles that are best-selling literary classics and 8 that are new releases in the past 2 years. That website will hopefully be going up in February, and it's all going to be based on reader voting. So you vote in each week which book you think is the better book. And then obviously it'll dwindle down to the Elite 8, Final 4, and then the Ultimate Championship, which will be in April. I'm really excited about this concept. I even have a ref shirt and a whistle. I did go out and buy a ref shirt and a whistle. That's how dedicated I am to this. And even if it is just me participating, I'm going to be thrilled because I just love stiff competition. I think it's healthy, and it really, I think, will spark some good conversation and debate about which is better in certain genres. So that's taking place in March and April. Really excited about that one. The next challenge, which starts in May, is going to be called the Tea Time Book Club. We all love a tea party, right? It's a great time. And whether or not you ascribe to gossip, most of the depictions of tea parties we see in books or TV or movies are laden with metaphorical tea as well as actual tea. So the Tea Time Book Club reading challenge will consist of titles that have gotten the ladies of modern day high society all riled up. Are they scandalous or are they simply enlightening? We'll find out, those hot button book club books. We'll find out over tea and cucumber sandwiches. Really jazzed about that one. That one's going to be a fun summer challenge. And then the next challenge, which will begin in August, is called the Blow My Mind Reading Challenge. This final challenge of 2021 is all about books that have a level of hype to them as being mind-blowing, and so I'm going to see if they actually do blow my mind. Whether it's sci-fi, thriller, or horror, or adventure, do they live up to the level of mind-blowingness? I really wanted to do this one because I believe there is sort of this predisposition towards a lot of classic literature that it's not as good as everyone says it is, or the people who say it's good are lying. And so I wanted to see if this extends to other genres besides classic literature, which I am a huge advocate for. I want to see if, Truman Capote is as good as everyone says, or Kurt Vonnegut, That's the challenge that I'm going to end 2021 on. So those are the 4 challenges and the 4 goals I have set for Leigh's Library. Let me know if you want to participate in any of these challenges. We're going to have fun graphics, we're going to have fun themes and explorations of books. I'm so excited. I will be doing dedicated videos for when each of these challenges begin, as well as when we add new titles, so you'll have plenty of time to join in and participate. I'm really excited. I've had fun sort of preparing these challenges, and even if it is just me participating with all of my 20 subscribers I have right now, I love you all. You're great. I hope you participate in these with me and have some fun exploring new books. But I'd love to know, do you have any challenges that you're organizing or participating in? What are some of your fun ways to spend the book year? And I'd love to maybe hop on a few of those challenges with you. So that's my 2021 walkthrough for Leigh's Library. I have had a lot of fun exploring what I want to do. There are a few things in there that I didn't mention, like book tags and vlogs. There may even be a few sketches coming your way. Who knows? I hope you take the time to really be grateful for your BookTube platform and to develop it and flesh it out and put the energy you want to put into this passion project. I think the world needs more space for healthy, good conversation and good, healthy material that's stimulating and educational. But also this is an impacting space, for people who like to read, and we want to grow with each other and to learn from one another. And I particularly want my channel to be, like I say in every description, a safe place for any and all talk of books. So I'm doing my best to make sure that we cover all the topics so that we can have all the conversations. I really enjoyed putting this together, and I can't wait to see what happens with this channel. So please like this video and subscribe to Leigh's Library. It really does help me out and let me know what you guys want to see. As always, a huge thank you to the family and friends who have supported me readily along this journey. It means the world to me, and I can't wait to see what's on the next page. Cheers.